All right, welcome back to another episode of Uncut, Never Filtered. The boys have returned from our trip in the bourbon capital of the world, Bardstown, Kentucky. The rest of the guys are recuperating, but today we are going to taste, review, and score Michter's Fort Nelson Reserve Barrel Strength Bourbon up next. We're going to go ahead and get in on the nose. First pour bourbon, almost 2 weeks since we returned from the trail. Cheers. Whew. We have some oak. We have a cherry bomb on the nose. Very cherry forward. You get some oak, a little bit of vanilla, and a little bit of chocolate. So Michter's cycles their bourbons through high and low temperatures controlled in their warehouse, which makes a younger barrel strength entry bourbon a lot more complex, more like a 10 or 12 year pour. And that's what it smells like. It doesn't smell young, but it's rich. And again, just a cherry bomb on the nose. Let's go ahead and get into that palate. Cheers. Yeah, this is phenomenal. So again, you got a lot of the cherry, the vanilla, almost like a Tootsie Roll chocolate right in your face at the front of the palate. First whiskey of the day, 112 proof, doesn't burn whatsoever, incredibly smooth barrel strength bourbon. And again, if I had to guess, drinking this blind, was this a younger bourbon? I would think it's more around that 10 to 12 year range. Some of that Tootsie Roll chocolate's coming back into the nose. Let's go in on a second sip, see what we got. It's rich, it's oily and viscous, but just a delicious little bit of cherry, a little bit of vanilla bean, but that Tootsie Roll chocolate, a very delicious pour. As we approach the finish on the palate, it's long, it's warm, doesn't go deep into that Kentucky hug, but it's there for 112 proof. And you are getting a little bit of maybe clove, some baking spices, maybe a little bit of cinnamon, I don't know. But again, this is worth every bang for the buck. So as I get ready to drain this delicious Glen, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to give this a score today of 8.4. This is rumored to be a 6 to 8 year old bourbon. Michter's does something a little different. They're going to have their barrel strength entry into the toasted oak barrels at 103 proof. I guess the idea is, since there's less water going into the barrel initially, the sugars are going to come out of that toasted char better into the actual spirits. Again, with the temperature cycling maturation in their warehouses, this does taste like more of a 10 to 12 year bourbon. For $160, you get a banger of a bottle. I mean, Baumburgers is $130, right? Plus, you get to go in and spend about 45 minutes with some very cool folks from the distillery, learn a little bit about the Fort Nelson Reserve bourbons and rye, and ultimately have the experience of bottling your own take-home bottle. Have you been there? What do you think of Michter's? Have you had the Fort Nelson Reserve? Let me know in the comments below. Did I make a mistake opening it up? Doing a little bit of research, I see secondary market can be up to $1,100, and we just popped that bitch as soon as I started drinking again after the trip. So let us know. We will see you next week with a little bit more tales from the trail. Get the rest of the guys down here and talk about what we were doing in Kentucky and what we're bringing home in about 4 months from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. Until next time, we'll see you then. Cheers.